Alright, I'm Michael, and this is the Game of Life final project for CS2 Bart Ketchley's class. So I'll just populate random by pressing R, and I set it to, I think, 1,000. Let me see. Yeah, I set it to 1,000, because 50 kind of just died off immediately. So if it's an 80 by 80 grid, there's like 3,600 cells, so it's a lot. If there are only 50 cells, there's a good chance that there were less than 2 neighbors and it would just die. But anyway, populated random, you can see on the left here, it tells you the generation and how many living cells. So you press N to just do the next generation. A bunch of them died off. That's 2, 3. Keep pressing N, it'll keep giving you the next generation. Or you could just press P, and that controls the pause and play button, so it will be set to play. So it'll just continuously loop, and it keeps track of how many living cells and generations have passed. And you can see some of the patterns are popping up, you know, like this guy and the square, this little alternating line. So let me pause it again. You can also click each cell individually to set them alive or set them dead if they're already alive. So you just had to do that by, on the game class, recognizing the the width of the screen, which is 1,000 in this case. And then I think the actual playing board here was like 600 something. So you divide that by each cell, or no, I'm sorry, by the max. So you divide this pixel length by the max, so the number of cells, and when the clicker is in that region, it'll switch the value from living to dead or dead to living. So you can see they interact just like anything else would. So pausing it again, you press C to clear it, and you can see the counter over here is right, resets a generation and living cells. I was gonna put it up here, but as you can see here, I have the information. I just don't know how to like make a char string up here that says generation number blah blah blah. I know how to make pixels, so if I had a bunch of time, I could have figured out what pixels would, you know, spell out the number, but I'm sure there's a simpler way to do that, and I don't know what it is. But the information is all here, and so what else? Oh, it has a save function, so press S to save, and then let me see, I'll just populate random, have it go for a few generations, and load the last one by pressing L, and that's what I had before. So that thing will probably just die. Yeah, it died right away. Difficult things with the project were, I guess, figuring out how SFML works. That was kind of tough, until you just realize that it's its own class and it has its own like predefined functions. And then just sort of copying and pasting those functions. At that point, it kind of worked well. A problem I encountered was, what was it? Shit. Counting the neighbors was an issue for a while, because I would do 2 loops from -1, 0, 1, -1, 0, 1, -1, 0, 1, like that, and then return number counted -1, and I was wondering why I had all these issues, but later I figured out, because if it was an empty cell, it would return -1, and that, you know, isn't living or dead, so that caused all sorts of problems. So it makes sense that the lower level functions have to be like perfect in all situations for the upper level functions to work right. Yeah, I think that pretty much covered it all.